Admiral's Log. Today, I received the final design for the new class of battlecruiser that I've been working on. These ships will be the backbone of the fleet when they're commissioned. Their powerful 15-inch guns will be capable of destroying any ship, and their speed will enable them to quickly respond to any threats. I can't wait to see these ships in action and witness the might of the Japanese Navy firsthand. With the war against Italy over, I can now fully devote all of my attention to the ongoing conflict with Austria-Hungary. This war has been long and difficult, however our navy has proven itself time and time again, and I have no doubt that it will continue to do so. We will keep pushing forward, taking one victory at a time. We also have to prepare for future potential conflicts. The Chinese Navy has been building many battlecruisers, which is enough to cause concern. The Divine Broadside should be sufficient to sink them, but we cannot rely on one single ship. We're going to have to be flexible, which means an even larger navy. Time to get to work. Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome to episode 32. We are now, believe it or not, in an alliance with the Italians. I did not see this coming. We are just done with the war with the Italians. I've had a few months of peace, and now we're an ally. This is because a couple of events have happened in the world that I'll get to in a minute. I first have to take out a little bit of Austro-Hungarian firepower. These ships with their 8-inch guns are no joke, as we have seen. So I'm going to try and withdraw, and that worked. So now I can actually show you... Oh, actually we also get the light cruisers and scout cruisers, which are very nice. Something got obsolete, but even the game doesn't know what. But it's fully released. Spanish Empire is at war with Austria-Hungary. An urgent alliance is formed between Germany and Austria-Hungary in order to oppose the common foe. So, here we go. Germany is at war with me, the British, the French, the United States, the Soviets, the Spanish, the Chinese. An urgent alliance is formed between the Italians, Japan, Britain, France, US, basically everybody else, to oppose the common foe. Now, I did not gain control of Croatia, surprise, surprise, because I was simply not bringing enough fleet power. I should have brought a lot more, and, well, I still got most of my fleet in transit. What also doesn't help is that if something gets damaged around here, they immediately get beamed back to Helgoland, and from there they have to once again cycle all the way around through the Gibraltar Strait and finally link up here. Anyway, at this point, I am going to be fighting not just the Austro-Hungarians, but also the Germans. Germany, who, like Austria-Hungary, is at war with absolutely everybody. I don't think that's a very good idea for Germany, considering they only got 53 ships and 50 from the Austro-Hungarians. So they get 103 ships total, and they are building another 120, but I first have to see those before I believe it. The United States, by contrast, is bringing 384 different ships. 34 battlecruisers and 17 battleships. The French have 9 and 3, 5 and 1 for the Brits. We have 37 for the Chinese. Then I have 8 and 6, and we got the Spanish with 1. The Spanish really suffered in that latest war. And the Soviets with 1 and 4. This is just the battleships and battlecruisers, of course. I'm not even counting everything else. Now, considering the fact that I'm once at war with the Germans, the minefield has immediately been activated around Helgoland, which is going to mostly invalidate the port of Bremen and Hamburg. But it seems like the German fleet isn't there. I'm not really sure where it is. There's one CL over there. Oh, here they are. They are heading to the Adriatic, which is where the whole world is currently gathering their fleets. So at this point, they're going to have to transit either around Denmark, and I don't know if Copenhagen is a big fan of that. They should be able to disallow transit through here. This means they're going to have to pass through the minefield of Helgoland, so all of these ships are immediately going to start taking damage. Now, this hopefully will allow me to ignore the situation around Helgoland for long enough, so that I can actually get some of the Austro-Hungarian ships sunk and finish off the Austro-Hungarian Empire altogether. And don't mean conquer them entirely, but if I can get a couple of ships out here and at least start, for example, conquering Montenegro or... well, this might be a bit much. No, actually it's not. There's almost nobody in there. But it doesn't have a land border. Okay, so what can I invade? I don't have any ships around Germany, so I can't invade that. As for Austria-Hungary, yeah. If they don't have a naval field, a naval strip that I can land on, then it's not happening. So we're going to try this area next. Croatia was a bit heavily defended, and I simply didn't have the group of ships that I do now. As for research, the rangefinders are still coming up, and I just got that new cruiser design. So I'm very interested to see what kind of new cruiser I can build. And seeing as it's now 1930, I'm actually allowed to design new ships. Let's see, the old cruisers that I'm currently using is the Chiyoda class. They've been refit a few times. So we're now looking at the Chiyoda from 1928, but this design, I think, was from 1920 or something. So, seeing as this design is effectively 10 years old, I'm interested to see how much more I can get than the current design. This one displacing about 12,500 tons, that's rounded up. So let's look at either the light cruiser, the modern light cruiser, or the scout cruiser. These things can displace 11,600. The modern light cruiser 2, I suppose that is, can displace 13.5k or 10,900. That's the same hull, right? As the Chiyoda. Yeah, that's the same hull. Okay, so it is going to be the new class, either the scout cruiser or this one. Resistance for this ship is less, so their damage resistance is less. Stability is okay. Stability here is better than the modern light cruiser. Hull form is better for this ship. The floatability of the modern light cruiser 2 is better. Does it impact what sort of towers I can get? Compact cruiser tower 3? No, you can still get that here. Okay, so I wonder what sort of recon rating are these things going to get if I just add one tower? 253. If I go for the modern light cruiser, 150. Holy crap. So the scout cruiser is very much living up to its name. And it's a stat that you don't exactly see the moment that you look at it. But well, it also has a lot less surface visibility, so it's more difficult to spot. Interesting. So this is going to be my new detection ship, seeing as my destroyers aren't doing it. What was the detection rating of the new destroyers? The Miyukis? What's their recon rating? 140. Wow. So even though this ship isn't exactly finished, we're already getting 253? This thing is incredibly good at detecting stuff. Okay. Mission profile, engage other light cruisers and potentially heavy cruisers, which means they're going to get the biggest guns available. So that's probably going to be the 7-inch dual barrel or, well, 6-inch Mark IV. Those things can certainly pack a punch. And I'm not going to rely on torpedoes. I don't like torpedoes because the enemy is just going to dodge them. So I'm not going to rely on torpedoes at all. We got a lot of interesting towers here. We got a rear tower 7, base accuracy 9.5, 8.5, 9, 10.5, 11, 4, 7.5, and 8.5. This thing weighs 690 tons and takes up a severe portion of the ship, but it does allow you to park a funnel in there. The other tower, that is medium secondary tower 2, is lighter. Gets you more aiming speed. Gets you more long range accuracy. Gets you more tower spotting. Okay, so sell me on this one. Why is this supposedly interesting? It isn't. Okay, you're gone. So, I was thinking of making this ship pretty sleek, but this tower kind of prohibits that. Because there's not a whole lot of room to make this thing sleeker than it currently is. I can try and push it down some. Oh, the recon rating improves the moment that you have a sleeker ship. That's interesting. It represents the reconnaissance capability of the ship. Oh, its ability to report enemy contact without being detected. It's because my surface visibility is probably going down. Yeah, that's it. My own detectability goes down. So my recon rating thereby goes up, because my chances of getting detected while counter-detecting, so while detecting the enemy, is less. I just hope that I can park a funnel in here that's going to have enough smoke capacity, or funnel capacity, to actually provide enough circulation or enough exhaust for the engine. Be gone. So there. And then modern secondary 2. There. Ooh, engine efficiency 50%. But if I give them diesels, 74%. If I give them better oil, 91%. So now we're in business. This is pretty good. It's still not as much as I would like. If I'm going to go to turbo-electric drive, I'm going to be displacing more. My engine efficiency is less. But I can fix that by pushing them to 4 spoilers. Price, 16 million. Diesels, 12 million. So I'm saving 4 million on this ship. But turbo-electric drive is just really fun to use. Because with this, you can very, very quickly slow down and speed up. Which, if you're knife fighting against a destroyer, is a very useful skill to have. Or rather, a very useful ability. Let's say, best this, best this, best this. I'm going unbalanced rudder. I don't expect to have to maintain like 36 knots all the time. The Gojiras can do 36.5, so I'm going to also make these things 36.5 so they can, well, in essence, escort the Gojiras insofar as the Gojiras need escort. I'm not sure about that part. As for their draft, I suppose that if I reduce this, my recon rating also goes up, right? Yeah, if I make the ship really tall, so increase the draft, it's going to be bad for my recon rating. If I push this down, it's going to be better. What? Okay. So we're now 207. If I improve that with an RDF, I'm going to 300. This isn't going to do much, you'd think. Oh, it probably changes it very, very slightly because the tower slightly changes. Acoustics, sonar 2. Improves my ASW rating. Going from 426 to 873. And I don't want to lay mines, but I do want to throw depth charges so that I can actually kill submarines. Excellent. Crip 5, anti-flood 3, double hull bottom, reinforced bulkheads, and a turtleback armor scheme. And now the real fight can begin, because now I'm going to try and have these things actually pack a punch. So, 6-inch dual barrel turrets. That might already be a bit big. That fits, but it looks a... I don't quite how it looks. Simple as that, I don't quite how it looks. If I park like a... No, it's too small. Very small, average. Yeah, that's probably a little better. Something to this effect. I'm also going to have one of these things on the stern. What? Right, so if you build a really wide ship, this actually should fit. I'm not doing that. As for the firepower type, I am thinking of the same type of attack mode as the previous ship, which means high explosive. So I'm going to boost my high explosive fire chance. And this one does get the best bonus, but it also has a bigger chance of blowing yourself up. It has less shell pen. This one has 15% higher chance to set fires. And it has some slightly better shell pen. So if I'm firing HE shells now, I'm getting 0.1. If I go here, I'm getting... Yeah, it basically didn't change. Go to 2 powder. I think incendiary shells are the best type of shells for the job that I have. And this means that I fire every 11.2 seconds with a standard crew. I'm going to give you increased HE. Just bring some AP if you can. Well, it's going to give me 2.3 inches of armor pen with semi-armor piercing. No, we're going full HE. I could go for super heavy shells, increases HE shell damage, fire chance, etc. But also debuffs the reload to 12.2 seconds, so that's not too bad. HE damage 380, HE damage 287. If I go for light shells, less HE damage, less shell damage, less fire chance. So yeah, we're going super heavy explosive shells. Okay, now I still have quite a bit left for deck space. What are we going to do with all that? I could shrink the whole thing down. That means I get a 7,800 ton light cruiser, which is really small. My recon rating is 271 now. And now it's 297. Okay, so the bigger platform actually gives me better spotting? Oh, 270. Interesting. The plan for this thing, 9150 spotting range. Spotting range doesn't change. Okay, the plan for this ship is to detect targets for the Gojira's. So I'm going to keep these guys around and allow them to do the spotting so that the Gojira's can shoot. That means that the majority of their firepower is not necessarily wasted, but it is something that I might not make that much use of. Although, of course, the moment that you spot a destroyer, I do want that dead. We're going to have to shift the whole thing forward in order to make this fit. This means that the ship is not going to get any torpedo armament. It's basically a really big destroyer that is very good at spotting things. That is their primary role. Here. Push this back. Slightly high aft weight. I still have a lot of displacement left. I can really armor these things up. Or make them even faster. If I'm going to 38 knots... What? That barely moved the needle? Look at that! That barely moved the needle. 39? 40 knots? What? Where's the magic border on this ship? 42? 44? What the hell? 50? What? 49 knots? It only is going to cost me 18 million? If I go to 36 knots. It's going to cost me 70... We're going 48... we're going maximum speed. 49 knots. Why? Because I can. Is it efficient? Fuck no. If I boost this thing back up to full cap... And... Yeah, no, we're not doing that. If I boost this thing up to full cap and just throw a second funnel in... I should be able to get a lot of speed out of this thing and potentially another gun. 56% engine efficiency is fairly awful. And that's even with forced boilers. If I go diesels... Why the fuck is this thing allowed to go 49 knots? I thought the devs buffed or cranked down very, very hard on the ability of ships to do this. They're not supposed to be able to do this. Recon rating is 242 now. 261. My smoke interference is probably a factor. Detectability, speed attributes. Detectability is 3062. Now I'm gonna need that engine efficiency. Which basically means the whole ship is in service of the engine. It's not in service of the guns, which means it's a bit of an odd warship design. Can I make something a bit smaller? This thing has a capacity of 65. This is 50. If I replace this with 4 of these, if that fits, which it doesn't, that's 7,059 tons at 55. Push the secondary tower back, if you can. There. 66. I still got displacement left. Engine efficiency this low is not something I'm a fan of, but I can change it. It still gives me some bonuses because it's slightly over. The ship's gonna cruise around the map at 38 knots. Holy shit. 369 meter turning circle? Oh boy. These things are going to be very, very fun to use. And that's something that I think the devs have been cracking down on lately a bit much. Fun. Your ability to do weird shit in this game and make ships which are Just ludicrously quick. Nah, this isn't it. I need better funnels, or I need better oil, or I need a different engine. I'm thinking gas turbines would be ideal for this ship, but getting those to fit would be difficult. These things reload in their 12 seconds, that's fine. I'm not going to give them extra barrel length, I'm not going to give them extra caliber or extra diameter, this is fine. What I can do with all this space next to the funnels is just add a bunch of 3-inchers. Because if they do happen to pull alongside, well, anything, it's going to have a really bad day. Because these 3-inchers probably fire pretty quick. Every 4 seconds. 2-inch guns. Yeah, can park those there. Not there. Not there. This whole secondary tower doesn't give me any positions. No. We're going to take another 3-inch for over here. Because that shouldn't interfere with the stern 6-incher. Whoa. And can I do the same thing here? Just put it over there? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Now, armor this thing up. Main belt, 5 inches. And that apparently is not a problem. 4 inches of superstructure. I'll take 6 inches of forebelt, 6 aft. Let's just max it out. I was a bit kidding, but the game doesn't seem to think so. What the fuck? That fits? How does this ship fit 6 inches of armor everywhere and have an engine that can do 49 knots? Like, is your hull form so much better than everything else? Pretty much. But maximum optimal speed is 36. I'm doing 49. This thing is going to zip across the world map. Not the game map, no, the world map. This is insane. That 4 weight offset is something I don't like. But I'm afraid I cannot do much about it. I can try and push the turrets back a little bit more. But I kind of think that this secondary tower is a bit limited in its positioning. Because it's so wide. Come on, let's see if we can max this thing out. We're just going to have to research some better... either better funnels or better boilers or something like that. To allow this ship to really maximize its potential. Ah, there we are. How long do these things take to build? 14 months? Damn. I already like these things more than I actually like my light sorry, my DDs at this stage. Yeah. Okay. That's the ship. I like it. I really like it. Can I even deploy mines? Well, they can even deploy mines. 12% own mine damage. 15% own mine damage. Is that a good thing? Whatever. We're going advanced mines too. So that if I'm not actually using these in a combat role, they can still deploy mines. Okay, I'm not sure how I managed to pull this thing off. And I am... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, just not the Akagi. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to pull this thing off. And I'm somewhat concerned that if the devs happen to watch this video, they're going to nerf this thing. But, well, for right now, I quite like it. I quite like it. Let's go and build a whole bunch of these. And start to replace the old Chiyoda class. Let's see. Yeyama. Build ships. I'll take 10. Thank you. I still have some capacity spare. And I expect another big boost to the naval capacity or to shipbuilding capacity once this thing finishes in 2 months. I still have to refit some ships. And have the capacity spare to fix ships as they come out of damage. The Divine Broadside is done in 1 month, and then she has to go back into the dock for a 1 month refit in order to get those new engines in. Well, to get everything in. The new guns, the new engines, the new rangefinder, I think. Maybe even the turtleback armor scheme. Again, how they changed the armor scheme in 1 month is beyond me, but hey, if they can do it, by all means. So, rangefinders is still a prio. I'm also going to give boilers a shot, because that should allow me to improve the type of fuel tech and consumption. Alternatively, engine efficiency. Yeah, I want that too. I know that I'm delaying some other projects. This has been commented on somewhat frequently. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Okay, let's see what's happening in the world. So, what is happening in the world? Well, I'm immediately blockading Germany. Am I doing that solo? Probably not. Is my power projection a bit higher than Germany's? Yeah, by about a factor of 9. So, that should be fine. It seems like the Mogami is unable to pull away from these 2 cruisers, so she's going to have to outfight them. The Mogami might have been damaged in the previous encounter, though. I'm not sure how well she's going to be capable of actually facing the threats. Because if she's still badly damaged from her previous encounter... She's not, she's perfectly fine. Okay, excellent. She is perfectly fine. I know that those German ships have a substantial amount of firepower. They got a lot of those 8-inch guns. And... yeah. Oh, Mogami spotted them first. Okay. This is your priority target. That's the heavy. I don't care much for the light cruiser. I mean... this thing is pretty... I was going to say pretty old. Yeah, it's pretty old. It's got those 2.3s and 2 6.7s. It's basically an upgunned, very slow destroyer. Without torpedoes? No, they do have torps. This guy is something else. Because that's triple barrel 8-inch guns all over the place. And for now, I'm not sure if they're shooting. But I'm fairly certain that they're not going to just watch and sit back as I start blowing holes in their ship. So let's see if I can inflict some damage to their superstructure, ideally. Although I do believe that these German ships were pretty heavily armored. And as such... oh, sorry, no, these are not German, these are Austro-Hungarian ships. And as such, not that easy to get rid of. As the destroyer has proven in one of the previous episodes. 91% accuracy, that's more like it. Damage to a main gun. I like this salvo fire. Fires are being set. Give me an AP salvo. Oh, that's not bad. We're getting some ricochets, but we're also getting a couple parcel pens. There you go. Rudder damaged, flooding, overpen. Yeah, Mogami is definitely dialed in on this target. And if it doesn't flood, it's going to get just completely destroyed. And so far somebody is doing some shooting, but I'm not even sure which one that is. It seems to be the light cruiser, so... is your cruiser bugged or something? Ooh, you're rolling over there. Bad day for the Germans. If you want me to put your fire out, just keep that part of the ship underwater. Look at that turning circle. With a damaged rudder, no less. That... sorry, I said Germans again. Austro-Hungarians. This is really impressive engineering. Give me HE. Accuracy is going down because the enemy target is maneuvering. Let's start to close the distance, because we're also going to have to take out that light cruiser. And as much as I would like, it's not going to sink itself. So, Mogami, up to you. Charge in. Finish off the CA. Armored cruiser, although practically heavy cruiser. They have not fired a single shot. Oh. Okay. And this is why. The Glorreiche has 8-inch guns, but they're short barrel guns. They only have a range of 7 kilometers. That's interesting. They're short barrel guns. So I can close the distance to 8 kilometers. And they still wouldn't be able to shoot. And even if they do, I'm not sure if they'd actually pen. Yeah, of course you're not going to get that information now because the game doesn't know what the pen would be as the ship isn't in range. My chance to pen them probably isn't that good either. About 10%. Let's see if I can inflict one more flooding and take this thing out of the fight. You are flooding, supposedly? Ricochet, ricochet, ricochet. Yeah, they're trying to get away from me. I wonder why. There you go. 8 clicks. Flooding. But that's a flooding that was already happening. I'm not seeing any new floodings. Ship's now at 7-7. No, they still can't shoot me. This is what happens if you keep your ship with short barrel guns. Now, there is a time and a place for short barrel guns. And I might just design a ship to try and make that work. Because those things can actually work if you can close the distance. And that's the big challenge. Because if you want to chase down something like the Mogami and use your short barrel guns, then you're going to have to do more than 35 knots. You're going to have to make a cruiser that does 40 knots or so. Because not only will you have to pursue the target, because if you do this to me, I would run away. If I notice that it has short barrel guns and it's charging me, I would run away. So you'd have to try and overtake me, which is going to be really difficult. So this is another fairly bad design by the Germans. It only works if you get the jump on the target, and if you don't, well, you're just kind of sitting there looking stupid. Losing a $33 million warship. Now, my $58 million warship is definitely more capable, as well as vastly more expensive. But so far, I haven't taken a scratch. And this thing is effectively down for the count. And by the looks of it, I might not be able to flood it, but I sure as hell will be able to burn it to pieces. Still though, spacious bulkheads, or sorry, spacious quarters means it's likely going to lose a whole lot of crew and not care when it comes to damage control. So, in that sense, it's gonna take a while. We're gonna switch fire. We're gonna use AP or SAP effectively against the CL. The CL, which is almost through its HE shells. And I don't believe its AP shells are gonna do much. So these two outdated light cruisers, or sorry, Austro-Hungarian cruisers, are just going to be completely murdered without doing anything, probably. The ricochet. Come on, I need one more good hit. There you go. That's the last flooding I needed. Good night. Next. 3 fires instantly set. More. More. How badly is this thing listing? Okay, we can close the distance safely. I was just checking to see if this thing is actually listing badly to port or starboard. And it is. It's rolling over to starboard. So that it's not going to be able to use her 8-inch guns at all. Which means the ship is not going to be capable of shooting back, even if I close the distance. That's the game plan here. So I can just close the distance even to within their firing range, and they might be able to shoot some. But if I go bow in, I doubt they can actually do much. If they can even accurately hit me, they got a 1% chance for that. Can I pen this? No. Can semi-armor piercing still inflict flooding? Oh. Is that how it's going to be? No, ricochet, ricochet. I got a really well-armored stern. Okay. HE it is. The fire treatment. Pew, 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 pew. And the whole thing's on fire. Ooh, that nearly hit me. There you go. 0 shots taken by Mogami. 0. Absolutely nothing. Beautiful outcome. So, 1,325 points for that little display of valor by the Mogami. As for the Germans, it seems that the minefield is working as intended. the Germans are taking a lot of damage from mines. Now, I don't think that my minefield's the only one in existence, but it sure as hell is inflicting a lot of damage. Unfortunately, my newfound ally, the Italians, is also running into a bit of a mine problem, inflicting substantial damage on various destroyers, which arguably should be the ships that are capable of minesweeping, light cruisers, heavy cruisers alike. Wow, there's more? This is just the second page. The Ostfriesland took 48% damage. You lost 29% of your crew? Whoa, the whole Prince Eitel Friedrich got destroyed by a mine, as well as the Mars, and the Derflinger, and the Lippe, and the Medusa, and the Pilau, and the Saxon got badly damaged. What the fuck? And then they managed to blow up a light cruiser. Whoa. Okay. Ah. Sorry, Poland. It's that time of year again. Italians are launching from northeast Italy to Austria-Hungary, Austria. I thought that's where... Wait, I thought the French were also pushing an invasion in. The French were invading Austria, and now the Italians are too? Because there's now an alliance between Italy and France. So... How many people do we have pushing on? Oh yeah, we got 2 nations pushing on this. Good lord. What the hell? The Italians have an army of 3.2 million? And our army is 1.4 from the French. About 400k from mine. Holy shit. They got about 113,000 men defending the place. Austria is going to get taken over. This is pretty critical. Okay. Now, in case you're wondering, why am I taking over this bit of territory? Because it doesn't give me any income. You'd be right. It does give me the port of Cattaro. Sorry, no, it does not. It gives me the port of Braugh. Which isn't that big. It isn't that valuable in that sense, but I can place ships here which drop mines. And if they then want to get out of the Adriatic and Ionian Sea, they're going to either have to go through the minefield that is sent up by Taranto, or they're going to have to go through mine. So, one way or another, they're going to get hit by a mine. And this time around, I do have the displacement that I need. So this time around, that invasion will go through. So, interesting episode so far. I got a 49-knot light cruiser coming up, and I have various invasions moving all over the place. They're apparently doing their own invasion of Ukraine. So, what? Like 300,000 Austro-Hungarians are going to charge into 1.2 million Soviets. Yeah, no, good luck. Let me know how that goes. Wait, Hungary is also getting invaded? I didn't even catch that. 1.2 million men from the Soviets moving into Austria-Hungary. Into Hungary, which is getting defended by 124,000. They're going to get destroyed. This could be the end of Austria-Hungary as we know it. Which would be fascinating, because I've never seen a nation destroyed in the more recent campaigns. So, join me next time as we figure out what is going to happen to the world and to the navies in it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon for more.